Hi and welcome to CRK Gear Chop Shop. In this video I'm going to run you through the Sigma FP since the last update and what are some of its key features and who the camera is best suited for. First, let me start by stating the obvious. This camera is not a one-touch button device that makes you insta-famous. The camera is also not meant to be used without some basic fundamental knowledge, skill and passion for photography and filmmaking. So what is this camera for? Well, it is a serious filmmaking tool that contains many ingredients, features and benefits that need to be understood and utilized correctly. And who is this camera for? Well, compared to other small form factor mirrorless cameras on the market, the Sigma contains some very serious firepower in terms of processing. Why? Well, let me explain. When someone comes to you and says, I want something more cinematic, or I want that full frame shallow depth of field look, your automatic response might be, sure, we have all these cameras you can choose from, and then you proceed to ask them, do you want 4K resolution or face detect autofocus with that? Perhaps French fries and a can of Coke? Unfortunately, I hear this way too often, and you're likely selling them short, because the more pressing issue here is how will a run-of-the-mill consumer-grade mirrorless camera give you cinematic power? Now think about this for a moment. A film student or an aspiring filmmaker comes to you and says, what camera can I buy that would allow me to do all these following things? Record 12-bit RAW internally to low-cost media such as SD cards, has robust internal codecs including output RAW recording to external monitors and devices, has ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW support. It can also record directly to an external SSD. It has a large format sensor look. It possesses incredible color science and low light that rivals cameras like Arri Alexa's Red Monstros, Sony Venice and other expensive and unattainable cameras that these kids are currently learning and cutting their teeth on. It's perhaps also a fraction of the cost of these cameras, while on top of all that, has the ability to deliver high-resolution 4K images that are both cinema and broadcast compliant. Well, the Sigma FP is all of those things and much more. So on the topic of RAW, what's the deal here? Ladies and gentlemen, when you record RAW, the entire process is linear. Recording log or logarithmic simply extends the dynamic range when the camera can only muster compressed codecs. That's why most mirrorless cameras on the market incorporate this option. Having log is simply saying, I bought a car with the turbocharge option, while actually implementing internal RAW recording like the FP means that the camera already comes equipped with a Formula One V12 engine. I hope you like that analogy. I certainly did. Most people are so caught up with picture profiles, and what they don't realize or fail to realize is that recording in log at 4208-bit is not ideal and can be disastrous. The power of the Sigma FP is in its fully fledged filmmaking ecosystem. The accessories really optimize the camera's power factor. Sigma offers very sensible components that really will augment the user experience. So let's take a look now at some of my favorite accessories and why you should use them. The camera body is inherently tiny, which means you can always start very small and then build up as you go depending on the production requirements. The small form factor is ideal for gimbals, smaller portable rigs and fairly tight spaces, but Sigma offers modular hardware accessories which mean you can very easily build up or strip down a configuration depending on what kind of work you're doing. Now let's take a look here. I have the FP in a large hand grip option like the HG21, bundled with the LVF11 viewfinder. Mounted in front is the uber compact 45mm f2.8 DG/DN lens for its size and weight, and for documentary and reality TV, this combo works incredibly well due to its payload and discrete form factor, while offering various points of contact, the ability to be able to shoot in bright sunlight, and the ability to anatomically pull focus with your left hand. When I want to strip the camera to mount on a gimbal, I simply undo the set screw here and remove the camera body. This little package will get you up and running almost instantly. Also, I want to show you a very cool trick here, but first I would like to recommend 2 SSD drives for faster and more reliable data recording. Now, this is extremely crucial when recording raw or externally to a solid state drive. So using reputable and reliable drives will ensure better read and write speeds while minimizing the risk of drop frames and record errors. The first is the G Technology G Drive Mobile SSD, and the second is the SanDisk Extreme Portable that we have here. I've chosen these 2 drives because of their size and form factor, but here's the neat trick. By simply using 3M Velcro adhesives, stick one under your drive, in this case here, and also stick the same adhesive onto your LVF11, and you're ready to mount your external SSD securely to your camera. Now connect your cable here into your camera, and you're ready to shoot and output raw recording into your solid state drives. Now, as we are all aware, the Sigma FP uses the L-mount bayonet system. So as you can see, you can use native lenses here like this 45mm and a litany of other different Sigma L-mount lenses. Here I also have the newly released Sigma 85mm f1.4 DG DN Art Series lens. Now, between the 45mm and the stunning 85, I have a very versatile human field of view lens with the Sigma 45mm on a full frame sensor, and a very gorgeous portrait and close-up lens with the 85, making this camera lens duo a very portable and powerful filmmaking tool in a very small, tiny package. We can also seriously step up also if we choose to, if we want to start mixing and matching this camera to other photographic and cine lenses. The MC21 needs no introduction. It is a great adapter that will convert L-mount to use with EF lenses, along with all the active contact points, data, and autofocus. My other favorite accessory is the MC31, a super highly engineered adapter which allows you to use your PL mount interchangeable lenses with any L-mount camera body, in this case the Sigma FP. The MC31 can also be shimmed to ensure that you maintain correct flange distance to your sensor and maintain accurate markings when mapping your lenses during pre-production. This is a serious step up in terms of build quality and function, and the MC31 is manufactured with strict standards and tolerances, ensuring that all high-end professional positive lock lenses are easily adaptable. It's also important to note that both adapters have a lens foot support with 1/4-20 screws to allow for further rail mount options and also mono-blocking your entire cinema rig. As for rigs and cages, there are also a variety of third-party companies that manufacture hardware you can expand with, but with the current Sigma offerings, you're pretty much ready to go. Now, Sigma did not design this camera by accident. They knew they had to offer a serious tool for someone serious about learning the craft of filmmaking. The comparative power of the Sigma FP lies in its ability to render stunning images, capture low light, and reproduce colors on par, or if not, better than much more expensive cameras. Personally, cramming internal body stabilization to compromise build, processing, and image quality probably wasn't high on the agenda. And with that said, you now have a plethora of gimbals and post-stabilization software you can purchase or utilize. So perhaps Sigma had their priorities right. Frankly, IBIS wasn't even a thing when I was in film school. Even having this camera now, for film school, it ticks all the boxes when it comes to cost, power, and image quality. We have now established who this camera is really for, but let's not forget that we also have high-end photographers who also want a very capable video companion to their medium format cameras, or even in this case, Leica shooters. These guys are sticklers for image quality and results, which makes the Leica L-mount all the more applicable for existing users. But as a stills camera, the FP is also very capable of producing amazing colors, punching well above its weight. Before I forget, the other optional accessory worth a mention is the BG11, a base grip which you can secure under your camera, like this, to use the FP in the director's viewfinder mode. So on that note, how important is the director's viewfinder option? Like I said, any serious filmmaking student or aspiring director/shooter would gawk at this function if they knew that it was even there to begin with in the first place. The Sigma FP has a director's viewfinder function that allows the user to simulate different angles of view and how an image looks on cinema cameras, It supports cameras by major manufacturers commonly used in filmmaking, like your Arri Alexa LF, Red Monster 8K cameras, and other industry standard film cameras, as well as spherical and anamorphic lenses also. The Sigma FP can be powered using a standard BP51 battery with runtimes of approximately 1 hour of continuous record, while it takes about 45 minutes to fully recharge additional ones. Best practices suggest that you shoot and charge simultaneously. I would recommend FP shooters buy additional batteries along with the BC71 battery charger. If you want to extend shooting times with longer life batteries, I highly recommend using the CN21 AC adapter that connects to an external power source. The CN21 fits into the battery compartment with a tethered barrel connector, allowing you to power the camera from mains power supply, a battery pack, or industry batteries such as Anton Bauer or V-Lock. Finally, can you use this camera as a webcam? Absolutely. Once again, let me use another analogy. Jane goes to film school. She's got a nice little cinema camera in the FP. It outputs beautiful images, records RAW. She can certainly deliver Ultra HD images now, and editors, post-production, and VFX houses are going to love her for it. But now Jane also wants to create content. She wants to upload well-produced YouTube videos and make all her live streams look like $1 million to her potential clients. Easy. This is what you can do. Set up your camera, tether it to a main power source by using the CN21, change the USB mode to UVC, also known as video class, connect your camera to your laptop via the USB-C 3.0 port here on the FP camera, select the FP as your webcam in your video settings, and boom, you're ready to shoot and stream high quality, lush, large sensor images straight to the interwebs. On that note, thanks for coming to this training session. As always, good to see you all, and we hope you are enjoying our hospitality. For more product information on the Sigma FP or anything else on cine and video related equipment, make sure you contact our product specialist at C.R.Kennedy. Thanks for watching. Did someone say we've got a barbecue going on? Mike?